Billionaire Elon Musk says there's widespread fraud taking place in the payment of federal entitlements like Social Security. Do we have a clip of this? No, of course, it's a tweet. Obviously, it would be a tweet. Of course, he would just tweet this, because it's the only way in which he communicates. At this point, I am 100% certain that the magnitude of the fraud in federal entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, disability, exceeds the combined sum of every private scam you've ever heard by far. It's not even close. It is really crazy seeing him do the obvious thing we all knew he was going to do from the beginning, but without any self-awareness. Like, everyone knew from day one, oh yeah, they're going to cut Medicaid, Social Security, etc. Like, obviously, he's going to say, we found lots of fraud, and then never back it up, and he's just going to cut it. You know? It's not even interesting to talk about. I guess we'll talk about this when this actually fucking happens, okay? Because in the meantime, obviously, this is all he's going to fucking talk about, you know? I don't even understand what they mean by fraud. Fraud doesn't mean anything to them. By fraud, they mean something they don't want to pay out, and what they don't want to pay out is any money that goes to anyone. All this money should be going directly into Elon Musk's bank account. They have yet to prove any fraud from their USAID payment dissection. All the stuff they post that they claim is fraud is just stuff they don't like, or they're lying about it. Are right-wing people even going to accept this? Well, the right-wingers on Twitter, who are all just trying to make, you know, mucho money by, you know, farming blue check engagement, they'll go along with it. But the average Republican voter, dude, like, your job is going to be to run out there and go, these are Trump cuts. Oh, you can't, you know, cash your Social Security check? That's Trump. Wow. Medicaid's broke? That's Trump, you know? You got to run out there and make sure everyone knows that. Because you know they're going to talk about how it's a temporary pause that they're doing while they evaluate what is or isn't real or what is or isn't fraud. And then they're going to say, oh, we're actually like reevaluating this, or it might take some time for the payments to come up online. Then they're going to be like, oh, we've discovered such overwhelming fraud that we have no choice but to reevaluate from the beginning this entire system. And Trump is going to fix it in his big, beautiful tax bill. So we all need to make sure the big, beautiful tax bill gets voted for. And then when the bill gets passed and everything's worse, it's going to be like, oh, because the Democrats did something, or maybe didn't do something, I don't know. You're running up against, you know, reality past a point. Meanwhile, thousands die from lack of resources. Yeah, well, just try to make sure that it's their guys and not ours, okay? That's why you guys need to engage in mutual aid, and the Appalachian grandmas who aren't going to be getting their medication, who did in fact vote for Trump as the last consequential act of their long and miserable lives, won't be getting mutual aid, you know? Dark woke. It is what it is. Hey, a lot of Appalachian grandmas vote blue. Do you mean a lot of in like an absolute sense, or is like a percentage? Because, you know, people seem to be legit panicking over this shit, not gonna lie. Well, yeah, if Medicaid and Social Security get cut, that would represent the early deaths of literally millions of people. Which is why you guys have to be on your grind set, okay? You have to do so well that not only are you not caught up in it, but you can also continue to like and subscribe, donate, ring the bell, etc. You know, it's your only chance. It's my only chance. We have to work together. Do you have thoughts on where to draw the line between shunning the right for their garbage positions and appealing to them to change their mind? This is different for me than for you, but my position has always been you should reserve a lot of contempt and mockery for people who disagree with you, but you should always frame it so that as soon as somebody steps out of the line of fire, they can be on your side. So you talk about how the right, you know, they're evil, they're stupid, they're self-destructive, so on and so forth. You're throwing all these attacks rightward, and the goal is to get people on that side of things, not, you know, to sort of reflect, maybe some of them want to distance themselves from it, but you want to give them an out, right? You want people in that position to be like, okay, maybe I agree with these criticisms, you know, like, where do I stand? And my position is like, if you come up to me and you're like, hey, I'm a former Republican and I've been convinced on blank or on this or whatever, I'm not going to go, well, why'd you believe it to begin with? Because I don't really care. Like, whatever. What am I getting from that? What, you know, what's the outcome for this? You know? Instead, I'm like, oh, I'm really glad you know, saw this or agreed on this or disagreed on that or whatever. And then you keep throwing it rightward, you know? The goal is you want to give people who are in the line of fire the opportunity to like wake up and go, all right, and move around, you know? Now, if you're talking directly to somebody, I think you should just be happy if people get brought over personally. Is that because scolding people will push them away? Well, it can push them in either direction. Scolding and shaming people in the abstract right might push them towards you because they want to distance themselves from the subject of shame. But shaming people directly will just make them hate you because everyone's got a good excuse for why they fucked up, you know? It's kind of complicated. In my position, I try to reach out. Like, remember the chud person, professional chud earlier, where like, I'm obviously mocking him, but I'm also saying like, listen, I'm in your camp here. I want people to be able to be social and get laid and stuff. You know, you're kind of the victim both of personal failure and social failure. And I'm not, you know, I'm not the one who made the rules. I'm just calling it out as I see it. And the idea there being like, however reprehensible that guy's views are, he could come around. I don't know if he will, but if he did, I'd want him to feel like, you know. Well, anyway, practicing some basic exercises of compassion is good on all levels for others, and you yourself, Thich Nhat Hanh books are great, written for Westerners. Oh, you're one of those types. Don't you smiley face me. I can see right through your phony veil of kindness. I can look, I see the petty antagonism that it hides. You're not getting me. My earnest sincerity is more compassionate than any chatter whining about me being mean to them for forgetting that they personally had an autism diagnosis when they were 6 and also stubbed their toe yesterday so they can't go on a walk. This is kindness, okay? Kindness can never be projected through insincerity, okay? Insincere kindness is worth nothing. It's worth less than nothing, all right? Vaush, thank you for being here on the front lines, trying to undo the alt-right pipeline's effect on teens. I think I'm going to start a basic-ass YouTube channel tomorrow and be part of the solution. Yeah, have a good time. You know, do what feels right, and hopefully things work out. It's good to do, for as long as it's legal. I feel like the alt-right pipeline doesn't even exist anymore. It's kind of just like the mainstream right chat, you know? Just wanted to let you know it's what helped me the most. All right, Flurry Luigi, all right. I know that, like, electoral apathy is a systemic goal of the powers that be in this country, but sometimes it really is difficult to not fall into like the people deserve it kind of attitude, you know? We need to develop a culture of active participation in society. Yeah, maybe like, I guess a potential hope is that when things get much worse very quickly, as they currently are under Trump, I guess a hope is that it encourages people to be a little bit more civically active, not even just with voting, but just generally like, wow, it turns out you actually have to care. Like, energy is what wins or loses politics, and as long as we, the good people, have less energy than the, like, you know, dickless little virgin brown shirt fucks, the 18-year-olds who think that, like, Jews made pornography to keep him specifically from getting a trad wife, like, as long as those people have more energy, they will win. I don't know. These past 4 years have really made me pessimistic about voters just being liars. Even with ranked choice voting, people still didn't vote. Yeah, like how everyone's dissatisfied with Congress, but nobody actually votes out their congressman. Exactly. Yeah, I think it is true that we have literally seen like ranked choice voting not influence elections that much. And it's like, damn, it looks like the issue is more of a cultural one, you know? Like, fuck. Things are bad in a lot of other countries around the world, but at least there are like real shifts and changes in the like political landscape, you know, like people have multiple options, and it seems possible for outcomes to be affected based on like fuck ups by members of given parties. It's just like, in comparison here in America, like apathy wins every time. We're so fucking apathetic. You know how incompetent the Democrats are? They still almost beat Trump. Trump got like every fucking oligarch in the country to unite behind him. They dumped billions into total media control. He's still, even as incompetent as the Democrats are, again, the highest level Democratic representatives right now in the public eye are fucking Schumer and Jeffries. And still, they almost beat Trump in the presidential. What does that tell you? Honestly, that tells me that the Republicans, okay, listen, okay? What's the old cartoon? Who was the guy who fought with Popeye over olive oil? The guy with the facial hair, the like scoundrel? Bluto? Okay, all right. Bluto. The Republicans are Bluto, okay? And they're big and mean and they're scary. And initially they're very imposing. And they're probably even more imposing than they would normally be because they have some kind of like tricky apparatus or some sort of sneaky ploy that they're engaging in, okay? All right? And what you guys are looking at right now, you're at the beginning of the cartoon and you're seeing Popeye get his shit kicked in, and you're going, it's over, man. How could Popeye ever possibly compete with Bluto? There's no way. There's absolutely no chance nothing can happen. Your ass needs spinach, okay? You're thirsty. You need water. The American people are crying out for some kind of genuine left-leaning populist, engagement. You need the damn spinach. We can be the spinach.